The story begins with Travis "Mac" McAllister driving his rig down Nevada's Highway 375, also known as the Extraterrestrial Highway. The night is clear, the sky a vast expanse of stars, with the occasional twinkle of a distant airplane or satellite. The road is empty, a long, straight line cutting through the barren desert landscape, flanked by jagged mountains and rocky outcrops. Mac is hauling a load of electronics to Las Vegas, making good time despite the late hour. The solitude of the desert is comforting, the familiar hum of the engine the only sound as he cruises down the highway. He's heard the stories about strange lights and unexplained occurrences on this stretch of road, but he's always chalked them up to overactive imaginations or too much time spent in the sun. As he drives, Mac's eyes are drawn to the sky. At first, it's just a faint glimmer on the horizon, a light that seems out of place among the stars. He watches it for a moment, expecting it to move like an airplane or satellite, but it doesn't. Instead, it hovers, growing brighter and more intense. Mac's curiosity gets the better of him, and he slows the truck, pulling over to the side of the road. He steps out of the cab, the cold desert air biting at his skin as he gazes up at the sky. The light is closer now, pulsating with a strange, otherworldly glow. It moves erratically, darting across the sky in ways that defy explanation, and Mac feels a shiver of unease run down his spine. He reaches for his phone to take a picture, but the screen flickers and goes dead, the battery inexplicably drained. The truck's radio, which had been playing soft country music, cuts out with a burst of static, leaving only the eerie silence of the desert. As Mac watches the strange light, it suddenly shoots off to the right, disappearing behind a nearby mountain range. Against his better judgment, Mac feels compelled to follow. He climbs back into the truck, starts the engine, and pulls back onto the highway, taking the next turnoff onto a narrow, unmarked road that leads into the mountains. The road is rough and poorly maintained, the truck jostling over potholes and uneven terrain. The darkness is oppressive, the headlights barely cutting through the thick night air. Mac drives on, his curiosity outweighing his growing sense of dread. After several miles, the road ends abruptly at a tall chain-link fence topped with razor wire. Beyond the fence, Mac can see the outlines of buildings, low, squat structures that blend into the desert landscape. The area is bathed in harsh, artificial light, and the air hums with the low drone of machinery. Mac realizes he's stumbled upon a hidden military base, one that's not on any map he's seen. He knows he shouldn't be here, but the strange light and the base's secrecy ignite his curiosity. He parks the truck at a safe distance and approaches the fence on foot, careful to stay in the shadows. As he moves closer, he spots something strange, a large circular craft hovering silently above one of the buildings. It's unlike anything he's ever seen before, with a smooth, metallic surface that reflects the harsh lights of the base. The craft is surrounded by activity, with soldiers and technicians moving purposefully around it, their movements precise and coordinated. Mac pulls out his phone again, but it remains dead, as if the base is emitting some kind of electromagnetic interference. He's about to turn back when he hears voices, two guards patrolling the perimeter, their conversation drifting through the night air. They're talking about a containment breach and unauthorized entry, their voices tense and urgent. Mac's heart races as he realizes they're talking about him. He's been spotted, and now he's in serious danger. Panic sets in as Mac hears the guard's footsteps approaching. He knows he needs to get out of there before he's caught, but the fence and the rugged terrain leave him with few options. He ducks behind a boulder, his breathing shallow as the guards pass by, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Mac waits until the coast is clear, then makes a break for the truck, moving as quietly and quickly as possible. He reaches the cab, jumps in, and starts the engine, the sound roaring through the stillness of the desert. He pulls onto the dirt road, the truck skidding on the loose gravel as he accelerates away from the base, but he's not alone. In the rearview mirror, Mac sees a convoy of military vehicles emerging from the base, their headlights piercing the darkness as they pursue him. The road ahead is a treacherous maze of twists and turns, but Mac knows he has to keep going to outrun whatever secret he's stumbled upon. As he drives, the strange light reappears in the sky, moving in tandem with the truck, as if it's guiding him. Mac feels a surge of adrenaline, his fear mixed with a strange sense of awe. The light leads him back onto Highway 375. But the military vehicles are still in pursuit, their engines roaring as they close in. Mac pushes the truck to its limits, the speedometer needle climbing as he barrels down the highway. The road ahead is a blur, the desert landscape rushing past in a dizzying whirl. The light in the sky pulses, growing brighter and more intense until it suddenly shoots forward, disappearing over the horizon. With the light gone, the desert returns to its eerie silence, but the danger is far from over. Mac can see a roadblock up ahead, military vehicles lined across the highway, their lights flashing in the night. He knows there's no way out. He's trapped, with nowhere to run and no one to help him. But then, just as all seems lost, the ground beneath the truck begins to tremble. The road ahead cracks and buckles, the asphalt splitting open as something massive and powerful rises from the desert floor. The military vehicles screech to a halt, the soldiers scrambling to get out of the way as the earth opens up, revealing a hidden entrance to an underground facility. The truck is caught in the chaos, the ground shifting beneath its wheels as it's pulled toward the gaping hole. Mac fights to keep control, but the force is too strong, and the truck is dragged into the darkness, the world above disappearing in a blur of lights and sound. When Mac wakes, he's lying on a cold metal floor, his head throbbing and his vision blurry. The air is thick with the scent of machinery and antiseptic, and the faint hum of electricity buzzes in his ears. As his vision clears, he realizes he's in a large, dimly lit chamber, surrounded by banks of computers and monitors. Standing above him are figures dressed in military uniforms, their faces obscured by shadows. One of them steps forward, his voice cold and commanding. He tells Mac that he's seen something he was never meant to see, something that the government has gone to great lengths to keep hidden. The consequences of what he knows are severe, and there's only one way to ensure he never speaks of it. But before the man can finish, the strange light reappears, flooding the chamber with its otherworldly glow. The soldiers recoil, their weapons drawn, but the light is too powerful, filling the space with a blinding radiance. Mac feels himself being lifted, weightless, as if the light is pulling him toward it. The next thing he knows, Mac is back on Highway 375, his truck parked by the side of the road, the sun just beginning to rise over the desert. The air is still, the night's events a fading memory in the early morning light. He checks his phone. It's working again, the battery fully charged, but there's no signal.